Hello everyone, my name is Abhinav and currently I am supporting Kenya Water Security and Climate Resilient Project and Coastal Region Water Security and Climate Resilient Project in Kenya as part of World Bank team. Recently we had a brainstorming session with program implement program management unit on payment processes. It seems it's been a challenge for PMU to track the payment process. And if we try to see the complication in the process, I think this flow diagram depicts the process flow. And you can see layers and layers of approvals need to be taken before payments are done on any invoices. So if you see, basically the program has three kinds or three types of contracts for which invoices are raised. They are works contract, consultancy contracts, goods contracts, and normally the payments are submitted to project implementation units and they themselves have their own approval process. They constitute a review committee and then once they approve, the invoices are submitted to the PMU, which is Program Management Unit. And then this PMU, after reviewing the invoices, gets approved by Project Manager PMU. Then it's submitted to Office of Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. And then they have a lengthy process. They also have a project technical committee who reviews the invoices. And basically, if you see, these are the steps under Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigations. Now, if you look the history, basically these invoices are submitted in hard copies from one office to other office, and they don't have any kind of tracking process, and hence it's becoming challenge for program management unit to track these invoices, where are at what stage they are, what is the status, why they are pending, and therefore to require that some sort of a mobile based application to be developed. Now, today I am going to demonstrate a kind of mobile application for payment tracking system. So basically the process highlights various stages. So where the invoices are, where from it starts. So if so, first step is at ISC or consultant level. ISC is the supervision consultants. If it is a works contract, then first contractor. submit the invoice to consultant, then consultant reviews, they certify and submit to PIU at second level. If there is any error or something, they can return back. So these are the main four stages. So invoice can be at consultant level, at PIU level, at PMU level, or at ministry level. Then to further distinguish, we will have then various status at certain date. What is the status? So they receive on certain date the invoice from the contractor. Then the invoice is under review. Then they certified. Similarly, for PIU, they receive from the consultant. They review, they approve, and submit to PMU. PMU again goes through the similar process. But when it comes to Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, you can see there are so many steps, and each step is important to track. So with this background, I'm switching to our tools. Basically, I've used open source tools to develop this application. So there are three different tools I have used. First one is the development of form, which actually is done through Kobotool box. Now this Kobotool box is an open source platform where you can sign up. There are two accounts, humanitarian organization and then research aid workers. So you can create your account here. I have my account, so I will directly switch to my account, and there is a form which is there. So I've developed the form in Kobotool box. I'm not going into the detail right now, but it's a form which we have deployed. And when we deploy this form, then on the mobile application, we will use, let me open my phone screen, demonstrate. Sorry for the delay. It's connecting to my phone. So while it is opening, so let me tell you, the Kobo toolbox is basically for the administrators, like maybe a PMU, where the two coordinators for K1 and K2, they will use Kobo toolbox when they receive data through various people, various staffs of ISCs, PIUs, and even themselves in PMU to administer the data and validation of the data. Then the data will be submitted by various people through mobile app, which is called ODK Collect. I'm sorry, my mobile screen is not coming up. And then the third tool is Power BI, where we will import all the data from Kobotool box to Power BI for analysis, which is also a free tool. There is also a paid subscription for Power BI, but we will use only the free tool. I will pause for a minute to check if my mobile is shared on my computer. Sorry for that, wait for some time. So now my computer mobile screen is open. I will go to ODK Collect. So this is a free tool and I have developed this questionnaire and uploaded on ODK Collect. Let me open. So I'm not going to describe how it works. I think when this application is deployed to the people, the detailed training will be provided. Today I am just demonstrating. So I have uploaded, so you can, if you want to see what are the forms available. So you see I have a various forms. So this is a payment tracking, which I have already uploaded in this application. So I'm not again sorry, I'm just bit, and then I will go and fill the form. I select the form. So you see you have a status date, which is very important. This status date you can just select. So whatever day you are putting the status, I think provide the status date as you are entering the data. Sometimes your today's date will not match with your status date. Suppose you have done something on previous day or 2 days back and you could not able to update it to the system, then you can uh, select whatever date you want. So let me do this. So today is 1st June. Click OK, and then you go to next. So it will list all currently available contracts. So you need to choose the name for which you want to enter the status. So let me choose, let's say I'm working on this one. Next. So it will tell you that enter contract ID as 4. So you just enter 4. If you enter 5 here, it will say please enter the correct contract ID. So I will enter 4. Contract ID is correct. It will allow you to go next. There are some data which will pop in automatically. No need to, on this screen especially, no need to enter anything. And then click next. Then you choose invoice number. So let's say this is first invoice number 1 for that particular contract. So number 1. Then you have to say at what stage my IPC or invoice is currently in. So I'm just starting. I am a consultant, ISC. So I will just say, okay, at ISC level. Then it will ask you, what is the status at ISC level? So you received from contractor, under review by ISC, certified and submitted to PIU. Now here, one thing to note, if this is a work contract, then first two things will apply. But if it is a consultant contract, you jump directly to certified and submitted to PIU. Let me just select this and then next. So when you select certified and submit it to PIU, it will ask you what is your contract total contract amount, which you can say, okay, maybe it's 400,000. Then it will ask amount certified in invoice till previous IPCs. So currently this is my first IPC. So there is nothing previous, so 0. Then current amount, what is certified here? Let's say I'm claiming 80,000. Then it will ask what is the disbursement method. So in this program, either it is paid through PMU special account, or there is a direct disbursement from World Bank, direct disbursement from KFW, and direct disbursement, maybe others. So let's assume that this particular one is paid maybe some portion by PMU account or some by direct disbursement. Then you have to provide a proportion of how much will be paid by PMU account, how much by direct disbursement. So let's say special account 0.75% and World Bank maybe 0.25%. But you need to, if they are not dispersed by these two methods, still you need to put 0. Otherwise, it will not allow you to move further. And then it also displays current total disbursement is 1. That means it's proportional distribution. Okay. If you, let's say if I put here instead of 757, then it will say total distribution 0.95, disbursement proportion should be equal to 1. Please correct. Then you should correct it. So then I can put 75. Then if you have any remark at this stage, you just put remark. So currently I don't have any remark. So this completes full one cycle of status entry. I can show you even various, so I'm just going back, I'm not saving the form and submitting. I'm just showing what happens if there is a different status from here. So let's say from ISC we have submitted to PIU. So next day when I come, I will start from entering a new status date, then contract ID and all will be entered, and then I'm PIU manager or someone from PIU is responsible for this contract. I will come here and I will click at PIU, and then you can see the status received from ISC consultant, under review, approved and submitted to PMU. So I just received, so I will just say received from ISC, and then you can provide your remark or something. Similarly, if I will go at PMU, then at PMU it will highlight Before entering any status, please ensure that all previous status are entered correctly. So at PMU, when a coordinator receives these invoices from PIU, they need to go to Kobotool box and see all the entry related to that invoice and approve. I will show you. Let me show you under Kobotool box under payment tracking system. You have data, you have a data table. Don't worry, these trainings will be provided. So you have all these data which is entered through mobile app, and then there is a validation. So the coordinators will be given the right to validate these data. So that's why it prompts you whether you have checked or not. So if you say, no, I have not checked, it will say, please check the status entries before proceeding. So you just click a yes. Before entering any status, please ensure that all previous status are correct, and then you can see you received under review by PMU, approved and submitted and returned back to PIU. Then at, at this stage, at ministry level, you can see there are a lot of status received from PMU, then it goes to PS office, then PS gives to water secretary. Water secretary then give it to technical committee. Technical committee again gives back to water secretary, and from water secretary to PS, and then PS submit to PS office, submit to CFO, CFO to HAU, HAU to ERS, ERS to AIE, AI to exam, exam to ERS. So this is all until it goes to payment complete. So these are all process needs to be tracked, and it is the responsibility of finance specialist of PMU. Once coordinator and PM approves the invoice from PMU, now it's the financial specialist, or I don't know whether it's the right position, but I think James Munge, who can then track and enter these status as he monitor the progress of these invoices. So this is basically the tool or mobile app which collects the data. And I hope this covers most of the relevant data to be collected to track the progress of invoices. And then the data will be collected in Kobo toolbox like this, which will be validated by coordinators or PMU. And even in this, they can filter the data and see some of the status. But we are not using the Kobo toolbox as analyzing tool. What we are doing for analysis is another tool, which is also open source free tool. It's called Power BI. So this is the Power BI screen. Again, I'm not going into the details of Power BI, how it will be uploaded and how it will be configured. That will be another session with people But here I just want to showcase how the data can be analyzed and displayed. So this will act as a dashboard for various stakeholders like PMU manager, coordinators, even PIU managers, and even the financiers. So these Power BI desktops is a free tool. I think everybody who wants to get this kind of a dashboard, they need to install the Power BI desktop in their computers, and then file will be given to them. They can install, they can configure this model into their system. And, and once they have done that, then it will automatically update. So I have some dummy data here, and currently I have entered some data. Uh, no, sorry, I didn't do that, which I can do quickly. Let me again open my screen so that we can show you in Power BI how it updates. So let me go back to this form. So this is invoice number 1. So it is at ISC level received from the contractor. I'm just updating this. No remark. Next, I've saved the form. Send finalize form. And let me click on payment tracking. I think this is the latest entry. Send. Selected. Says, yeah, payment tracking successful. Okay, so I will close. Sorry, something. Close my mobile thing. And if you see, sorry, if I refresh Kobotool box, so you can see this entry. Which is the latest entry, like we selected contract ID 4. Then I want to explain the Power BI. So this is the screen which gives you the status. You have a various filters. For these filters, like if you want to observe only coastal region or Kenya Water Security Program K1 and K2, you can filter along that. You can filter along what kind of contract type you want to see the status, which PIU it is in. So what are under NIA? Let's see. Under KW, I will click KWSCRP. So you can only see the contract which are some entries under KWS CRP under work. Then further you filter down. So this is the work, and then this is the whole invoice status. You can see the status date, then at what stage it is, and what is the status. And then if you put some remark, and it also indicate you whether the data validation is carried out and PMU has approved these data or not. And you can even filter at what is stage wise. You can filter between two dates, and then here it will gives you a summary of now. So for this invoice, total contract amount is 20 million. No previous invoice raised because this is invoice number one. You have invoice amount 200, disbursement by PMU. So this is total disbursed through PMU special account. Similarly, if you can remove this tag, so you can remove the filters. Then second page will give you some more details like invoice per contract. So like for this contract, this is contract ID, this contract, you have two invoices raised. And then these two invoices, you have invoice amount. These are the first date when the invoice was submitted to ISC, or if it is a contract consultancy, then when it is submitted to PIU. Last date is a current latest status date, and you can see how many days it has elapsed. So this is kind of a summary level that how much time each invoice is taking. Then another view we can dig down or deeper. It will also give you at each stage, what is the number of days taken by ISC, at PIU for each invoice, at PMU how many days they have taken, at ministry how many days they have taken, and even you can drill down and see at ISC when they have received the invoice, when they have certified the invoice. So all these details we can visualize and analyze in this Power BI. Now, since let me show you, we have entered one data and we have seen that it has refreshed in Kobotool box. Now, this data is dynamically coming to Power BI. The users just need to click refresh. When you refresh, it will update the model. So you can see this was not there. Contract ID 4 is now added. And if you want to dig down, so this is entered in 21st June, invoice number 1 set and received from contractor status name. So this is how it gets updated. I think we can observe, I have one data, let's say for NIA, okay, WSCRP, just want, okay, let me remove all the filters and show you. So I've removed all the filters. So let me show you for contract 1, I think for which I have some more details. So you can see you have a status date, and at various stages This is the invoice number 1. Now it also shows you invoice number 2 because the filter we have applied is from here, which is at contract ID 1. So any contract will have number of invoices. So you can further filter through invoice numbers. So if you just go invoice number 1, so this will give you a status of invoice number 1. If you go to invoice number 2, this is the status of invoice number 2. Same way we can drill down in this table as well. So this is in contract ID 1, and this is the overall status. So it has taken 385 days. This is all dummy data, which I have just assumed and put through mobile app. Same way, this is time is, so this is first contract, and you can drill down and see the status, all the status, and you can see how much total time these things have taken. So I hope this demonstration will provide you some insight that how we can track the payments, which is currently a challenge with PMU. And I hope this will help to get some efficiency in payment process. Thank you very much. Looking forward to deploy this and see how it works. See you soon. Thank you.